Hi all, welcome to our channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Brand new week. We're going to be doing stages 53 to 58 of the Hachette Partworks release of build the Batman Tumbler. Look, a couple of things for a new week. Look, check this out, look. It's really sunny outside. It's the first time I think I've seen that since Christmas. So we've got this, even though my windows are actually all sort of like glazed over and stuff, and I have got blackout blinds in here, some sunlight still gets in. The other thing you'll notice is my shirt. Completely different franchise, obviously. It's the Ghostbusters franchise rather than the Tumbler or the Batman franchise, because this week it's released Ghostbusters 4, so we're going to be seeing that at the cinema at the end of the week, so I'm looking forward to that. But today we are working on the Tumbler. Now, I am aware that I don't think this is available to actually get anymore in the UK, so that's why I'm not going to be putting a little QR code on the screen. That's thrown me completely that I don't do that. But I still have put it in the video description should it come back, or should you need any extra issues that are currently up to that sort of thing. I think they're on the Hachette Partworks, but they won't be there for long. But I don't think you can get it now from pretty much any issue from, I don't know, 45 back. So no point in telling you, really, is there? Anyway, look, I'm going to jump straight into it. Without further ado, let's get cracking. So starting with a magazine for stage 53. Here's the magazine. I've got no idea what we're doing in these. But we do have a bulkhead by the look of it. And we've also got some gas cylinders here, a pair of gas cylinders. We're going to be putting these onto the bulkhead. So it's looking like that. This is the turbine that we actually worked on last time as well. It looks like we're screwing these parts together. So at the end, it's looking like that. So for that reason, I did bring the turbine up that we worked on last time. I am aware that I think I put these in wrong last time, so I had to change them over and put a sort of like a disclaimer on my social media. Basically, these parts all fall in the same direction. I think mine crossed over at the end of the last pack, so I did have to switch them round, but that looks like that. Okay, here's everything in the pack. I love the Batman logo. And extra big details here. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Okay, so bringing over the turbine that we worked on last time. Let's have it this way round. If you have a look at the back of these gas cylinders, we have got locating lugs. They're just going to go into the holes here. So I'm just going to locate them up. Not the easiest thing. And one is going this side here. And they're going to be held in with AP screws. And these come in these little paper bags. And thank God for the locating lugs, because if without them, I don't think I'm going to be able to find the screw holes. But I think I've got them here. And I have. That's one in there. And one in the other side. And I'm just going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. The hardest part is actually just trying to line up the lugs. But once they're in, hold it tight, and there's two screws just here and here. So holding it like this, what we've just created, probably best on the top camera, I'm going to be taking this bulkhead that we get in this one with a notch on the bottom, having it this way round. It's going to be fitting over the top like this here. And I'm holding this in with CM screws. So this is the last one going in. I have put all of these in oil because we are going into the metal frame here. Then I want to just ensure that this is really tight. And with that in place like that, that's all there is to do in that stage. Because there's not much to do in each stage, it is handy that we've got all 6 stages together. But this is the next stage here. Let's see, we've got small parts here which looks like the uprights, crossbars and connectors, which we're going to be putting together. Once these are together, we're going to bring back what we created at the very start of this build, putting some details on just like this. So that looks just like that there. Again, everything comes in the bat box. So I'm just laying this out just like the instructions did, probably best on the top camera here. Because what I need to do is actually piece the top part to the bottom part here. And it's a case of just pushing these things in. They haven't asked me to glue them. It does say that they are distinguished by an L and an R. This one's got L, so the L was at the top for me. So I'll put that in there, and I'll do exactly the same on this side. Into the hole here, and its corresponding hole on this side. So there we go. We have got a bracket. That was quite easy to do. Now, we haven't seen this for an age. Check that out. That looks cool, doesn't it? Okay, we're going to be adding some details to that now. This is the left side here, and these are all labelled with an L or an R. So I've got the left side here, and it's going to be going into these holes just here. So lining up all the lugs, and it is just to push in like that. Do exactly the same with the right hand side one, which again is stamped with an R, and that's going to be going in this way like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Here is stage 55. Looking through the magazine again. No idea what we're doing. We've got quite a large area here with lots of screws. It looks like we're actually going to be taking a frame here, and it looks like we're actually putting this on to this section here, which we were working on in the last pack as well. So putting this together, I'm guessing we're screwed into place. We're going to take the front end and screw that into place. We're doing an absolute load in this stage. So by the end of it, this is going to be attached to the front of the vehicle. That looks excellent. So let's just open this up and see what we got. We've got this massive piece of metal here, looking like that. Put that to one side. And we do have some screws. We haven't seen this for a while. Look, check this out. This looks good as well. Okay. So the sides that I've got these wires coming out, I want it this way round. I'm going to be bringing over, just make some space for this because it's taking up a lot of room. Taking over this side here, but I actually want it this way round. So the springs are at the bottom there, because I'm going to be putting this into position. Now this is going into the points just here. I'm just lining them all up so that they go in. Just like that. Now they slot into here, but they're actually held in by AFM screws in a hole here and in a hole here. So let me just open up the AFM screws. I'm actually going to be putting these in with my PH1 screwdriver because these are going to need to be in tight. I am making sure that none of those electrics are in the way of anything as well. Now it is hard to make sure they're in tight, but that does need to be in tight there. I can now put this whole massive section to one side. I have it that way round actually, you can see it holds. Bring over the front section, I'm just going to hold it that way round, and what we just created in the last stage. So this is just going to be slotting into this section here. And we want them to come out the front section just like this. So then this sits flat into this section just here. Bring over the frame again. And I'm going to want to put that frame onto this section just on the back here. Now gravity is going to have other ideas. So I'm going to have to pick it up and do it this way. And that is actually in there like that. What I'm going to do now is take the bottom section that we just saw. That's going to be going into place here. So once that's in place, this is held in with 5, 6, 7 screws. The last CM screw I've got is just going in here like this. That looks pretty cool. Now before people comment, I did forget to put the AFM screws in these 2 bits. I've done that now, so they're already in there. But that's all there is to do in that stage. So this is stage 56. Again, here's the magazine. What are we going to be doing? It looks like we've got some shocks to put on. which are, we assemble them up here and putting these into position just like this. So right at the end, it's now looking like that. And what I need to do is first to attach these brackets to the top of the shock. So this is going to go in like that there. It's held in with a UP screw, like this. UP. Now the screw goes into the larger of the holes, if you're unsure which way round this goes. So I'll get it in there, that goes all the way through and comes out the other side like that. So that's one in position. Going to do the same on the other one. Get that into place, grab a screw and get that all the way through. I thought I was missing a shock then, but it was actually caught up in the paper. So we want the screw sides to be on the inside, like this, for when I'm mounting this onto the car. So we do have, I don't know if you can see this on one of the cameras, I've got some holes down here which I'm going to be attaching this to. Now we've got a big lug and a small lug. This one's going to be going on this side. This is labelled R for right, so that's on the right side. I want to just put this over the top of this shaft here, and then plug this into the two holes that I've got in this side here. Perfect. So hopefully on one camera you can see that. Do the same on the other side. And then that one's in as well. So it's looking just like that. Now if you look at these shocks, we've got a short one and a long one. It's the short one I want first. I'm really trying hard to get one camera to actually see what I'm doing here. It's going to go into this first hole here on the top camera there. It's held in with a KP screw. So let me just get this one in first. It actually goes round that way. Hopefully you can see it on the top camera. Then I'm going to take one of the longer ones and exactly the same way I'm going to be putting that one in. And then on the top camera I have focused in, we're going to be putting this one into the first hole just here. It's going to take a lot of pulling to get them in. That's one. Let's do the same on the other side. Once you've got one in, it's easier to get the second one in. Excellent. Going to do the same on the other side. I also think getting one side in has actually lined up the other side as well, because it's easier to get this side in once you've got one side in. The second one goes in the third hole down. Here's the second one going in. Perfect. And with them in, that's quite interesting, that is. That's all there is to do in that stage. If you're worried about this being loose at the top, these have actually pulled that in, so this now can't move down. In stage 57, this is the penultimate pack, big pack. Here's the magazine. That looks like some section of floor pan or something. It's actually the engine panel that we've got to put on. So we're going to be adding these details to the engine panel here, looking like that. So they look like exhaust vents, don't they? So by the end it's looking just like that. This is going to be a quick stage. Fully metal all this as well. It's going to be a very heavy model, this one. Now these are actually just a push-in. So all I'm going to do is line them up and push these into where they go. So one this side and one this side. Now it does look like we have screw holes there, but there's no screws to put in this, because that, believe it or not, just putting those two things in is all there is to do in that stage. Check out the size of this box. Okay, this is the last stage of this pack, so stage 58. Here's the magazine. And it's this massive section here, which is the roof. And we've got some supports here as well. So I'm just going to be screwing the supports into the roof. I think that's all we're doing. So it looks like that. Massive section of the roof here. And I guess the brackets are in this paper envelope. It's only one bracket by the look of it. And we do have some BP screws. This is going to go into the very front hole here. like that. So this sort of like vent is facing towards the inside, and it is held in with one of those BP screws, which I've got loaded up here. Make sure it's perfectly in line just like that. Covered in my fingerprints now. But that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So we have created this roof section. This engine bay section with some manifolds here. The turbine we did right at the start, looking like this here. And then finally, which took most of our time, we actually did this section here. And if you want a size comparison, check that out. Pretty crazy, isn't it? I've enjoyed that build. Some sections are really quick, some sections are really fiddly, but I guess that's the way of it with these Partwork builds. Anyway, I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.